Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for your tenacity in staying with us, particularly when I'm sure the hunger that you have is noticeable at this point. We assure you that in short order you'll be able to enjoy some food and drink, so we appreciate your patience. First of all, what we'd like to do is to thank each of you for your participation and your attendance today. We want to especially thank the presenters and the moderators who did such an excellent job. One of the challenges of this conference has been to provide enough but not too much information. In some respects, I think we've met that challenge. In other respects, perhaps we haven't. We could go on for days speaking about these kinds of issues. We hope that you have found that the time here today has been worthwhile. We especially want to thank those who have come from such a far distance, both the attendees as well as the presenters. Some have come as far as Europe, and we appreciate your commitment to the issue of food security. We encourage you to stay for the reception, and Ambassador Ramdin will give you a few more instructions when he speaks. But in addition to the food and drink, we have two videos, a documentary of about 15 minutes that has been produced focusing on a small woman farmer in northern Chile. And we also have a recorded message, especially for this event and the event in Jamaica, from President Clinton. This conference was conceived and organized with one thought in mind. That is to use the important political platform of the OAS to call attention to the significant needs of food security and investment in agriculture in this hemisphere. The dialogue has begun, and soon, very soon, the action needs to take place. We hope this action, as many have expressed today, is collaborative and coordinated between multiple organizations. Most certainly this action will need to continue until the issue of food security, and it sounds as well, health security in many respects, is resolved. We are all in this together. Few times, if ever in our history, are we facing such a legacy-creating issue as a world society. Issues that, if not addressed, will create further misery. One of them is food security. If addressed correctly, we create a legacy of food security for future generations. Our choices today will affect lives tomorrow and the next generation and the next generation. So where do we begin? Yes, increased investment in agriculture is necessary, but it needs to be carefully thought out. We cannot afford to get this one wrong. We call upon each nation in this hemisphere who have not yet done so to create a national food security plan that is strategically tailored to the needs, resources, and competitive advantages of that country. For example, if a country has been blessed with fertile soil, sufficient water, and uncultivated land, then that country should accept this reality as a competitive advantage, an advantage that should be nurtured and developed for the good of all. Rural assets are strategic assets. However, they are largely underdeveloped in many areas of this hemisphere. Last week, in announcing the U.S. commitment to food security, Secretary Clinton said, quote, "First, we will work with partner countries to create and implement their plans. Few know better the complex obstacles that hinder a country's food security and food supply than the people who live and work there." This may sound like a very simplistic statement, but it has not guided policy enough in the past. We will work closely with countries to map out the particular investments they need to bolster their agriculture sector. Now, in one country, roads may be a top priority. In another, irrigation and water or greater access to credit and markets or drought-resistant feed. Once the plans are in place, we will help countries put them into action, unquote. In a recent meeting sponsored by the USAID, representatives from the G8 countries met here in Washington, D.C., and stated that there was a format for a national food security plan that they endorsed. And this plan was developed by the Comprehensive African Agriculture Development Plan, CADP, as one framework that is recognized by the G8 countries as worthy of adapting to the particular needs of every country. So according to what Secretary Clinton has said, each country is expected to develop its own national security plan. And we hope that those countries who will have access to this information will listen carefully, particularly to the last panel, in which they presented a number of very important items to consider. IICA encourages each of its member countries to formalize its own national food security plan. IICA can help. When it comes to agriculture, no organization in the world has the history, experience, perspective, and knowledge of IICA at the country level in Latin America and the Caribbean. We know of many initiatives that have worked and why, and we know of many initiatives that have failed and why. This information, this insight is invaluable when developing national food security plans. More specifically, IICA, with appropriate financial assistance, can, 1, organize workshops at the country or regional level to continue the development and execution of food security plans. 2, provide technical assistance on many of the agricultural components of each plan. 3, promote where possible national food security plans in appropriate venues. And 4, work closely with other institutions, organizations, and/or agencies to execute selected portions of a national food security plan. But before I conclude, let me thank each of you once again for your attendance and your participation. Additionally, we would like to thank all of those at the OAS for their support, particularly the translation team who have worked hard today, and Ambassador Ramdeen. Ambassador Ramdeen, without whose support we could not have held this conference. He is a friend of IICA and much appreciated. Last but certainly not least, I would like to recognize the IICA team, most particularly the office staff here in Washington, who have played such an invaluable role for their assistance. So if you would please join me in thanking all who have helped us today. Finally, just one matter of housekeeping. As a process of double indemnification, we'd like to encourage you to put your business cards in the glass bowl on the table outside this room here. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we have your correct addresses and emails, because we plan on burning a CD that will include all the presentations here today, as well as the videos that you will be seeing later on. So thank you very much indeed. Ambassador Ramdeen.